Hi, I'm Samantha of Goddess Awakening. I'm here to hold a safe space and share with you the true and authentic stories of how we got here. Empowering women, elevating for all. All right. We are back after almost 4 months of no podcasting. Life's been really busy, so I just said I'm going to take a little break, but I am back and I'm excited to catch you guys up. And boyfriend Brian is here with me today.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
All right, we're excited. We're definitely going to talk about some things today. We want to catch you up because we've had some pretty cool, pretty interesting, pretty important things happen since the last time we've been on the podcast. And then we're going to talk about ADHD because I definitely have it. And Brian's learning so much more about it thanks to me and a lot of my TikTok videos. And then we're going to talk to you about his podcast, which is about to start up here soon. And of course, Goddess Awakening and the things we have coming up as soon as this weekend. So first, since the last podcast was recorded April 1st, we got to talk about how we went to Nashville for a wedding. That was fun. We didn't go to the wedding.
Yeah, not at all.
Only because we got delayed about 12 hours on our flight from OKC, connecting through Dallas to Nashville. So it should have taken, 3-4 hours total-ish. But it took about 13, I want to say it was total.
Yeah, we got in probably, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night in Nashville. I think we were supposed to land 11 in the morning.
Yep. So it was, about 12 hours.
It was insane.
But long story short with that one, the weather just screwed us up. And
remember, it wasn't.
Well, originally there was a mechanical issue.
Correct.
But that doesn't matter according to airlines. It was weather. And they say that so that they don't have to give us refunds.
Yeah, they love that because it's an act of God.
Pretty cool little loophole they have. But so instead of landing in Dallas, which we could not do because of the crazy storms that were happening, they took us further away from home in Austin, Texas. And that's actually my second time being in Austin, Texas. But we didn't get to visit. We just got to sit on the airplane for about 4 hours. And then sit in the airport for another, 3 hours. So we spent a lot of time in Austin, Texas. It was not a great time. We met some really cool people, though, so that was fun. Made some friends, played some Pokemon Go. So then we get to Nashville, and they made us check our bags, even though they were carry-on bags because the plane was, quote-unquote, full. It was not. And they lost our bags. So we get to Nashville and we have literally nothing besides our phones and wallets. So we went shopping at Target, kept our receipts, and we did get refunded the money for that portion at least. But we just kicked it with our friends and we did some disc golf and.
Yeah, it was my first time playing full thing of disc golf and it was a lot of fun.
It was fun. And we said we were going to do that and, haven't done it since.
Yeah, well, like you said, we were too busy to have a podcast.
That's so
Where
funny.
are we going to fit in disc golf?
So disc golf, we're coming back for you. I actually was at Walmart a couple of days ago and I saw they had disc golfs there, which was interesting. Are they called disc golfs?
I think it's just disc.
A disc. Yeah, that makes sense. The disc. They have disc golf discs at Walmart. Okay. Anyway, next. So that was fun. We love going to Nashville. Shout out Brian for letting us stay at his house as usual. Friend Brian. I know it's always so confusing. Okay, so then the following weekend was Norman Music Festival.
Was that right afterwards?
Yep, it was the week after.
Crazy.
Yes. So Norman Music Festival is one that we had been helping with for basically the whole year. And we were in charge of the merch for the festival. So we got to collect designs from other artists, and then decide on what products we wanted to order and quantities. And so we got to order all of the things. And then we got to run the merch stations, which we had 4 of total at one point.
Yeah, 4 was what we basically wanted to have, the 4 corners of the whole festival grounds.
And of course we had t-shirts and tank tops. We added a crew neck sweatshirt instead of a hoodie this year. We added a bandana. So that was a new item. Enamel pins was a new item this year. So that one was a lot of fun. And then that was Friday. And then Saturday morning, I actually flew back out to Nashville because that was Kyle's memorial of life. And Brian stayed behind so that he could, basically keep the team running for the merch team. And then I think I had made it to Nashville when you texted me and told me what had happened.
Yeah, that was the morning they were calling for the tornado outbreaks, and we had already had multiples first thing in the morning west of Norman. So the committee had to make the tough decision of canceling Norman Music Festival for Saturday, which is generally the bulk of probably at least 50-60% of all festival goers come on the Saturday. So it was a sad day for everybody working the Norman Music Festival, especially the committee, because the last thing anybody wanted to do was cancel it. But it ended up being for the right decision because there was a tornado that ended up getting very, very close to where the festival was. So it was definitely the best thing to do.
Yeah, that was the same outbreak that took out a lot of the town of Sulphur.
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't very far from Norman.
No, it's about, an hour, 45 minutes south?
Probably.
Yeah,
less than an hour. So that was happening. I was in Nashville. So of course it's a bummer to hear that a festival has to shut down, but like you said, it was for the safety of everyone involved. So, and then that evening I, went to Kyle's celebration of life, and I've talked about him on this podcast before, but he passed in November. So obviously it was a long time that a lot of us were waiting for this, celebration of life. There were different reasons why it took longer, but a lot of the reasons, from my understanding, is like the family wasn't super connected with like the friends. So they were trying to make it like an event that everyone could come and enjoy, and obviously one that like Kyle would appreciate too. And it was literally perfect. When I got there, I ended up going with my friend Skinny, and then meeting up Brian and Xavier, friend Brian. And then, of course, once I got there, it was just like so many people that I know and love, and lots of hugs. And the very first person I started looking at, talking to, I was looking at Kyle's pictures that they had up on the display. And we were just talking about stuff with Kyle and the pictures that we liked and pointing stuff out. And then he turns to me and says, "Well, hi, I'm Kyle's dad." Or I'm Kyle's dad. And I had no idea it was Kyle's dad the whole time I was talking to him. So that was pretty emotional, but really cool that he was the first person that I ran into. And Kyle always had really great things to say about his parents and his dad. And then the next person that I talked to happened to be his mom. And again, I've never met these people in real life. And then I met his sister, and I met his brother. And then I ended up eventually meeting literally his whole family. It was really cool to connect with the people that like knew Kyle, and especially when it was like a different part of Kyle's life. And then I got to meet, his friends from the burn community, because he is a big burner. So I just got to meet his friends and family from like all walks of his life. And they had a beautiful, I don't know if I want to call it a service, because it was not your typical, it wasn't a funeral. It was like they were playing his music that he has produced.
Like you said, a celebration of life. Yeah,
it was definitely a celebration. He has lots of musical artist friends, of course, because he's a music producer in Nashville. And there were people who were, singing songs that they had written for Kyle, with Kyle. There was a rapper. It was just like really, really cool. And then a couple people spoke, and then they invited us to like, share a story or a memory with Kyle. And there's probably, I would guess, around 50 people there. And something that is a big fear of mine is like speaking in front of people. So when they said that, immediately my body was like, you have to go up there. But then I was like, I don't want to go up there and talk and cry and be emotional in front of people because that's definitely not my thing. And I let lots of other people go. And then eventually I was like, okay, it's my turn. And I did get up there.
Which I'm proud of you for doing.
Thank you. I did get up there and I did talk about Kyle. And of course, the memories that are especially important for me are Goddess Awakening. I knew we were going to talk about this, but I didn't think I was going to get this emotional.
No, it's no problem. I mean, Goddess Awakening, you know, like you told me when we first got together, was your firstborn, you know, and it came from you, Jason and Kyle and them, you know, just making this happen that first year. And this year we're making it even that much better.
So, yeah, I talked about Kyle and helping me create Goddess Awakening and bringing it to life. And I remember when it was Jason Turner and him setting up the main stage before the festival started, before anyone else was there. And I was just up there, like, watching them, like, plug in stuff and speakers and setting up lasers and, you know, doing all of their crazy magical stage production stuff. And we were just chatting and talking about like next year. We were already talking about next year and what we'll do and the art installations. And I remember asking Kyle and I said, you know, who would you want to book? That would be like someone we could realistically book for year 2. And that's when he told me Beat Kitty. And of course, she is our headliner for this year's music festival because it wouldn't happen any other way. And then, yeah, I talked about some other memories with him and the time I came to Nashville and he just wanted to show me Nashville, even though I've been to Nashville a million times, but he just was like, hey, this is where this is where you get this food. This is the best tacos, barbecue, whatever. And yeah, we just basically explored and then listened to music and had a good like 12 hours together. So yeah, I got up there and I talked about it and I was proud of myself because these are memories that are my memories with Kyle and I wanted to share them with people, just like everyone else was sharing their stories with Kyle. And like some of the stories I had heard, you know, parts of, and some of the stories I had never heard at all. And, you know, some of them were his friends, his festival friends, and some of them were his family. So they're just like all the versions of Kyle and just how much he was loved and how many people's lives he affected in such a positive way. So it was really special. I got to meet some of his friends that like I've known because of Facebook but hadn't actually met in real life. And afterwards, everyone's like trying to figure out what to do. And I don't even know how it came up, but Mexican restaurant was decided. That was like one of his favorite spots. And then I think like 12 or 14 of us ended up just rolling up to eat tacos. And the owner of the restaurant was there and was asking about Kyle. And we told him and he gave everyone free shots and he took a shot. I didn't take the shot because I wasn't drinking alcohol. But it's just like no matter where he went, he was just always impacting people in such a positive way. So that was beautiful. And I'm very thankful that we got to finally do that.
Yeah, it was a long time coming for you guys. I was upset and sad that I couldn't go with you. You know, I wanted to be there for you and support and wanted to learn more about Kyle. Because, I mean, I only met him the one time we had the event in Nashville on the road to Goddess last year. And, you know, but it worked out the way it needed to work out. So,
yep.
And that's exactly why we're busting our butts right now to make sure that we're continuing Goddess Awakening as best as we can.
So there's lots of aspects of Kyle and inspired by Kyle that will be at the festival. It's really strange. I had actually thought about having some kind of like celebration of life, like part of the event before Kyle passed. So like that's something I had thought up in my head, but didn't know exactly like what it would be or what it would look like. But I knew that was important because so many people lose people every single day. And it's not just, it's not just the EDM community. Like knowing you, I'm learning a whole different aspect of loss. And that's kind of what you're going to be talking about with your podcast.
Yeah, the art of camouflage, just discussing ways that we all struggle at some point or another with our own mental health and issues, especially military veterans. That's where the name, the art of camouflage, came from. And you and I talked numerous times. I talked with Byron when I was going to the podcast workshops and everything. And I was so set on wanting to segregate two different podcasts from the music community, my time with music, and then the military. But honestly, they both work very, very well together for the simple fact that because of that mental health, there's a lot of issues with veterans and there's a lot of issues in the music industry that people just don't realize, entertainment industry altogether. I mean, Robin Williams, think about that, So I just think the art of camouflage just came together. And, like I said, I started episode 1 last week, so soon it'll be released and hopefully people start listening to it.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear the episode.
Episode 1 is a very bare bones episode, just basically kind of discussing real quick what it's going to be. I think I'm going to end up trying to do as much interview style podcasting as possible. I already have a couple people that I'm talking to, that one in particular that was in the military and he's also in the music industry. So I thought that would be a really perfect guest to have towards the beginning. I just hope he wants to do it because not everybody wants to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah. But that is definitely true. Some people don't want to talk about the stuff.
Some people are emotional and some people aren't.
Maybe some people are better about keeping it in. I don't know. Yeah. But that's okay. Cool. So we have upcoming things coming. We're about to get real busy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So June and July have been weirdly not busy. Oh, that's another big thing that happened is I don't know. Backwoods canceled. I'm pretty sure we were going to Backwoods still in the last episode.
Yeah.
But they canceled. That was a whole ordeal. If you haven't seen it, basically what happened is they canceled because they booked too many really expensive headliners and didn't sell enough tickets. So they just canceled it. But then it was a big controversy because they weren't refunding people and owing people thousands of dollars, and they basically ghosted and live in a different country and
all hearsay, things that we don't necessarily for sure know.
Yeah, totally. We definitely know the person lives in a different country, but Correct. It's fine. Anyway, from what I understand, as of recently, some people have been refunded, but there's still people who have not. We were going to be going as basically like quote unquote art installation space, to do our harm reduction. So we didn't buy tickets, or anything like that, but we were pretty bummed because it's a festival that we did enjoy going to the year before. But that's okay.
I was also a booked artist.
Oh, yeah. You were booked to play. Yeah. There's that.
Double whammy on it being canceled, unfortunately.
Yeah. So our June opened up quite a bit. And myself being me was like, okay, what festival can we do instead? But we did not. I was chilling. I've been working. Oh, yeah. I got promoted at work. That's a thing I totally forgot about. Like 2 weeks ago, I guess, officially.
Here we go with the rabbit hole.
Uh-huh. Yeah. ADHD, that's a thing.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Squirreling. I got promoted at work. So I got promoted at work. I am now the bathing manager at Diamond Dog Pet Salon, which I'm super happy about. We're getting things all fixed up in the back, and we just got an order of like, I don't know, a lot of shampoo, a lot of dog shampoo. And if you don't know, dog shampoo is very expensive. And my boss likes to order like real nice, fancy dog shampoo for like any coat type. I'm sure people don't know this, but We've got shampoo for whitening dogs. We've got shampoo for black-coated dogs. We have texture. We have de-shedding. I mean, the list, there's probably like a million kinds of shampoo, and we have at least 20 of them now. So anyway, grooming salons are fun. And I'm having a good time. We've got some new people and we got a full team, and I work with only women. So that's a whole thing. And it's normally pretty great. And sometimes, sometimes people get a little upset, but we work through it. And I work with some really cool people.
No matter what. So
True. We had our first Diamond Dog event ever yesterday. Well, they did, because I've only been with the company for about a year. But my owner has been there for about 20 years. She's owned the company for 20 years. This was their very first Diamond Dog event, and we're already planning one for October. So I'm glad that she let me take the reins on that, because I do love planning events, if you haven't figured that out yet. This weekend, we got a festival coming up.
Terp Float
Festival in Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Yep.
And we're super excited to be back. We were there last year, so this will be our second year with the Goddess Awakening space.
Yep.
We've got a team of 10 people, and we're just going to be providing the cozy, cuddle puddle, harm reduction, safe space vibes. So I'm excited about that. We're bringing tons of hammocks, so we'll have lots of hammocks and trees for people to chill out in, because that is one of my all-time favorite things to do at a festival, is hang out in a random hammock. It's just the best. Oh, yeah. Oh, and we're going to be DJing at Terp Float Festival.
I was wondering if you were going to get to that part.
Yeah. Well, this what's whole the first thing. The DJ thing?
Yeah. What's this first? Oh,
this will be my first solo DJ set.
There you go.
Oh, man. I'm trying not to think about it because I'm going to get too stressed.
Oh, God.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
There you go.
But we're going to be playing on the beach stage. So it's going to be a float trip. So when people get off of their float, we're going to be set up there with a whole stage, and we'll be the first two DJs of the afternoon.
Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday.
So that should be fun. I've got some ideas because it is called Terp Float. If you don't catch the reference, it is a marijuana 420 friendly event. OMG. Like, do I talk about marijuana on here? I don't know, but I do now. I know. Yeah. But they actually don't even sell alcohol, which I totally love. Which is completely different from 99% of other music festivals. Because a lot of festivals make money off of alcohol. Like, that's how they make the money. So the vibes are really, really good. And we love
friendly, a lot less issues.
Yeah.
Speaking of not catering to the alcohol crowd, where are we at right now?
What do you mean? Oh.
14, 15?
It'll be a year and a half in like 4 days.
Oh, even more.
So yeah, No. I don't know what month it is. It's almost August. May, June, July, August. Okay, 15 months.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
Sorry, I can't count at all. 15 months in like a week. So no alcohol.
15 months, no alcohol. It's crazy. Did you ever think we were going to go that long?
No, not at all. Especially when we went to Germany and there was beer everywhere.
Yeah. Like I said, though, their non-alcoholic beer is amazing there.
Yeah. I'm still trying to remember what the Radler was that we had the first and the last night, because those were the best drinks of the whole time.
I'm telling you, it was an Erdinger.
Okay, well, we got to find some Erdingers because they were yummy.
Erdingers.
Terp Float.
Yep.
Cool. We're going to go Terp Float. We got some friends coming back to do it with us. We got some new friends. I got some of my coworkers coming. One of my coworkers coming who's never been to a music festival ever. So that's going to be interesting and really exciting. We did kind of cheat a little bit because we're not camping. We got an Airbnb because, Brian is 47 and he likes to have the AC in a bed and a shower, which I'm fine with. I'm not hating.
Lay this all on me.
Yeah.
Do not. We started talking about it. First things first, you were like looking at Airbnbs.
Well, we found a good deal and it's really close to venue, and it's going to be 130 degrees this weekend. So
exactly. So
make sure you grab your sunscreen and your sun hat, and I need to get my Camelback ready to go. Drinking water, so much water.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot.
Yeah, last year was this hot as well, and it was It was rough, but it was definitely doable as long as you did the right things ahead of time, and during, you were okay.
Yeah. And we'll also have Kyle's big tent with us, which provides tons of shade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like so much better for blocking out the sun. It's insane. So we'll have a really nice setup. It'll be nice and cozy. So that's this weekend. So that's going to be super fun. And then after that, we've got, is Dance Fest after that?
Dance Fest first weekend in September.
Oh, wait. We're going to see Childish Gambino next month.
Oh,
after Chirp Float.
A week after Chirp Float.
Yeah. So.
Didn't we have something else that weekend too?
Not that I see on my calendar. If it's not on the calendar, it's not real.
Oh, supposedly I have a DJ booking Saturday night. I forgot, but it hasn't been completely confirmed.
Okay. Well, we are for sure seeing Childish Gambino. Yeah. And fun fact, I saw him at his last set before he retired, and I was like, we know you'll be back. But it was at Bonnaroo 2019, so I got to see him then. And that was either the last set or one of the very last few that he played before he retired. And then this tour is actually starting in Oklahoma City. So this is his comeback after 5 years. Is that, holy moly, 5 years. But he's coming back. I love Childish Gambino. I actually saw him at Bonnaroo 2 other times before that. And that was when he was like, on the side stage, like no one really knew who this person was. And now, Donald Glover is huge.
I'll have to do some more research, but somebody told me just the other day that he made an announcement too on some interview that this will be the last time he'll perform as Childish Gambino. Yeah. He's going a different direction with his music.
I saw that too. So This is going to be a fun one.
Yep.
And I mean, if we catch him at another stop, it wouldn't be a bad idea either. Just saying.
Can't do it all. Just don't you. Who else are we going? You wanted to go see?
Glass Animals are also going to be on tour, yeah. So obviously got to catch them. We're going to probably catch them in Dallas.
Also, right?
Yeah, that's in September. We're also at the end of August going to see the Flaming Lips here in Oklahoma City. They're supposed to be here for 2. They're going to be here for 2 nights, and it's kind of like a ticket raffle thing you had to sign up for. But from what I heard, if you signed up, you're going to get tickets.
Yep, at the zoo.
Zoo Amp, yeah, which is really cool. And then the weekend after that is Dance Festopia.
Yep.
Which Brian will be DJing at. We don't know his schedule yet. We're just patiently anticipating.
This Thursday.
Yeah. Well,
this Thursday from the day we're recording this.
Yeah. So any day now. No pressure, Eric. Just kidding, but kind of not really. I'm a planner, so the fact that we don't have the schedule a month out gives me high levels of anxiety. But it's not really going to change a whole lot either way, so I'm just like, whatever. But the festival, you actually show up like Monday.
You can show up Monday, like they open up.
Which is actually insane to me.
Monday through Sunday or Monday through Monday. No, because they go overnight on Sunday for DJs as well.
So it's literally like 8 days.
Because last year I was supposed to play, remember? But I had a super late set on Sunday night and I couldn't get off of work that Monday. So I unfortunately wasn't able to go.
Yeah. So whatever, it's cool. I mean, we're going to go. I would like to go for a couple nights and camp out there and catch some sets. Reconnection has a really cool setup out there. So they'll actually be at Turp Float as well. So I love hanging out at that space. And there's tons of like fire performers and performances and things like that happening.
Yeah, and then you got the Deep, Dark, and Dangerous takeover. I think it's Saturday night as well.
Brian's like obsessed with Deep, Dark, and Dangerous ever since he went to a con last year.
Hey, whatever.
It's pretty funny.
It's good. It's good.
We have a lot of Deep, Dark, and Dangerous merch. It's actually crazy.
No, it's not. We're not that bad.
We just started.
So?
It's not even been a year. We have a lot. Speaking of Wakan, we're going back to Wakan this year. Woo!
Yeah, I
clapped real loud. Yep. Sorry for that loud clap. I just get so excited. This will be my 3rd Wakan, and there's been 4, which is wild to me. Well, I've only missed 1. So this will be the 4th, and it'll be my 3rd. But that's crazy to me. It's crazy. This is only their 4th year. They're killing it. Like, they're doing such a good job. But we will be working at the front gate again. So when you guys arrive at Wakan, we will check you in. We'll get you wristbands. We'll tell you to have a good time. And then we'll be out there with you late in the evening. So super fun paid gig, which we love. Thanks for paying us. We love that. And we get wristbands, and we get meals, and we get showers. So
just all around good time.
Yeah. And we love the venue. It's a really good spot out there. It would have been where Backwoods was held on the mountain. Was it just called the mountain?
Mulberry Mountain.
Mulberry Mountain. Yeah. Mulberry Mountain. We love Mulberry Mountain.
Yep.
And then we have one weekend off until Goddess Awakening. Oh my gosh. July. Wait. September. Wait.
August.
Next month, August? August and September. We're only 2 months away.
No.
Is that right?
August is, yeah.
September. Oh, we're only 2 months away. Oh my gosh, that just hit me.
It's more than 2 months.
It's like 2 months and like 3 days. Okay, it's like 2 months and a week. Whatever. It's soon. It's soon. It's coming. Okay, so we're going to be out there starting October 7th, starting to get set up for the festival. So make sure you get some tickets. Right now, they're only $133 for the whole weekend, including Thursday. We don't charge extra for the pre-party yet. And camping is also included this year. So it's literally $133 Thursday through Sunday. We have phase 1 of the lineup out. Phase 2 is coming soon. And then this week, we'll actually have our workshop lineup, which I am so excited about.
Yeah, because I think that's the biggest thing, like, make sure to really just talk about is that with Goddess Awakening, it's not just your standard music festival. I mean, like you said, your two worlds are colliding together, from your healing retreats and to music festivals. You're bringing those two together completely. So, like, even if you're not necessarily big into the music festival side, there's going to be so much that you're going to get out of those 4 days that for only $133, I mean, that's a complete steal.
Yeah. It's funny, whenever I talk to my like retreat friends, they always tell me that my prices are so low. It's crazy how low my prices are. And I'm like, cool, I agree. So when we grow, we can, increase the prices. But for now, that's what the price is. And I know they could be higher, but I also am like very adamant about making sure it's accessible for everyone. And that price point, I feel like, is very reasonable for the amount. Well, it's more than reasonable for the amount of things that you're getting in a weekend.
100%.
Because I mean, even just going camping's not even free anymore. It's like $10-$20 a night just to pick up a spot. So you're looking at, there's $50-$60 right there just on a campsite. And now you're getting, it's hard to explain to people who don't really think about it, but like the amount of production, like audio video production that we have is actually insane. It was insane the first year, and it's even more insane as a second year festival, the amount of lights and lasers and art and just like beautiful things that we will have on the stage for people to perform on. So I'm really excited for people to come out and see our stage, because it's going to be really, really cool. And like I was talking about before, the first year it was Kyle and Jason, and now Jason is still coming back. And he's going to have some of his team with him, and Skinny, who is a newer friend, but he's going to be with us. And then a lot of returning people are going to be coming back and helping with us. And then honestly, the majority of our team this time is people that I've met since the first year. So this will be their first Goddess Awakening, which is really cool. So it's definitely going to be like a reunion of the people who were there the first time, which is going to be really exciting. But it's also going to be cool on a different level where there's all these new people that are going to get to come and experience it with us. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's difficult to put a description on the audio and visual production that's going to be at Goddess Awakening. It's like local festival cost at, regional top-notch festival that draws in thousands of people, So it's like, that's the thing that a lot of people always skip out on, and when you and I got together and started planning this, we were very adamant about sticking to our budget and everything. And that's why we can keep it so low in price, talking with wonderful agents. No, I think our artist should be this much. And it's like, you should pay us this much. And like, well, it's not what we have budgeted. So, and that's why we're going to be able to continue to grow this the correct way. And also, continue helping our wonderful festival goers to be able to experience this wonderful thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm excited. It's only 2 months away. It's fine. It's cool. Um, hmm. But like we were saying earlier, that we're gonna have basically what we're envisioning is having some type of burn where we can like write our friends who have passed like their name on it, or like leave a message to them or something like that on like a big
Yeah.
plywood, a few pieces of plywood or something that we build something out of. And then like in a burn, we would burn that at the end of the festival. We had also talked about a water burn, which Jason Turner is the burner guy. So I don't exactly know what that means, but I mean, I kind of do. So there will definitely be celebration of life for our friends who have passed, so they can come and celebrate and have a good weekend together with us. Because the theme is definitely all about empowering women and then also healing, like healing for women, healing the feminine wounds, healing whatever we need to heal. And it's really hard to talk about that in such a quick way whenever you're like pitching an event. It's like, oh, we're going to heal each other. It sounds weird, but like if you are searching for that and you hear those words, those are the people who I feel like we're really calling in. Like when I go to events and I'm talking about Goddess Awakening with the right person, it's like, they're like, oh, I want to do that. Oh my gosh. Like, they're like, they want to go tell their friend. And it's like, I feel like I'm actually doing a lot better job about it because I do have support from friends and we have been saving every dollar basically for the festival. So we aren't stressed about it. But it's like, I have, especially in the past, been so stressed with like how many people have bought tickets this week? How many people are buying tickets this month? Like, how many tickets are we going to sell? Are we going to hit our target? Is everyone going to wait till they arrive at the gate to buy a ticket? And I'm sure anyone who's being honest, who throws events, especially music festivals or weekend events, they will tell you the same thing if they're being honest, which I feel like we don't really talk about it. And it's like,
well, it's that double-edged sword. You know what I mean? It's like we talked about it, that a lot of festivals need those pre-sales in order to pay deposits and make stuff happen. And if they don't get it, then they end up canceling. So on the customer side, people have gotten scared to purchase tickets in advance, and they think that they're doing themselves, good by not buying them ahead of time. And it's like, yeah, but you're the culprit then potentially for closing down a music festival. So it's the age-old saying, you don't cash a check that's not in your hand. You know what I mean? So if you're doing an event, you should always have the money up front and then be able to recoup afterwards. So
yeah, but that's not really what happens like most of the time, I would say, which is fine. I mean, I've been there, I've done it, and thankfully it worked out okay, but it's definitely puts your fear levels on a different scale than whenever you have a plan to have the money budgeted for, allotted before the event, for sure. So I'm very thankful for that this time around, and thankful for my business partners who are making that happen. And they're also friends. So it's like people have said, or do say that you can't do business with your friends. Well, I've always disagreed with that statement. I think that you have to be very clear on who your true friends are before you make those decisions. Because I've also been in situations where I thought I was trusting my friend, and then guess what? I don't even know what they're up to these days because they screwed me over so hard, and I don't want to be associated with that. But we were talking about this a few nights ago where it's like, I feel like, especially since probably big timeline things for me would be like Bonnaroo 2019, which was the last Bonnaroo I had been to. And I had been to Bonnaroo every single year since 2012, which should tell you something. The collapse of my giant group of friends that we always had Bonnaroo to basically rely on to have for us. And then we had 2020, which was, of course, a huge effing pandemic. So those two things mixed together to then throwing a festival that was very renegade style. And we hosted 2,000 people overnight, and we're on the festival, which is like, one of my all-time favorite moments ever. And then it was like, let's throw a festival. I want to throw a festival now. And to see those people that were about it and the ones that weren't, that had for years said, yeah, let's do stuff together. To Goddess Awakening #1, to Goddess Awakening about to happen now in those 2.5 years, it's like my circle has become so much more defined. I don't want to say it's shrunk. I don't want to say it's grown, but it's like, it's very clear who I know. Like if shit were to hit the fan and I needed help with whatever I needed help with, I know who I would call. And like, the list isn't super long, but it doesn't need to be. Like the people that I count on are like my literal ride or dies. And it's like people I could not talk to for a week at a time or whatever, but like I know that if I called them up, they got my back. And those are the people that I get to work with for Goddess Awakening now. Anything to say to that?
No, I think you and I had multiple discussions about that when we first got together.
Yeah.
You know, I think our age gap kind of may have played a role in that. You know, that's what I've always said, is that finding those true friends and building and staying with that and nurturing those relationships is much more important than, and this isn't you, this is other people I'm talking about. Like, I have so many friends everywhere and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but really, do you? You know, because I don't think you do. But the group that we have is awesome. And I love being around them. The ones that were from year past and stuff have been very opening and inviting to me to coming in, you know, so I'm really thankful for that as well. And
so we have 21 members in our Goddess Awakening 2024 team, and that number has changed, and we have fine-tuned our team, I would say. But for example, one of our friends, Dustin, he's currently in, I don't even know where he is, somewhere in Asia.
I think he's in Vietnam.
Yeah,
right
he's
now.
in all over that part of Asia, just living his best life, exploring, just doing whatever he wants to do. He's literally coming back to the US like days before to come and be at Goddess Awakening, because he is also sponsoring the event with his business, which is Alliance of New Earth. So I just want to give a quick shout out to Andy, Brian, Crystal, Dustin, Dwayne, Ember, Heather, Jason B, Jordan, Maddo, Missy, Natalie, Noe, Sally, myself, Sarah, Thad, and Jason Turner. Those people are the ones who are really doing a lot of the work behind the scenes and taking parts instead of me doing everything, helping that not be a thing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And speaking of Sarah, Sarah from Arkansas, she just threw us with her brand, Good Soup Collective, a Road to Goddess Awakening event in Fayetteville 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And it was absolutely a banger. They had performances upstairs and downstairs. Brian and I also performed. So that was fun. Really good production, especially for the space that we were in, which was also really cool. And I would say there was easily 200 people there. So thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you guys too so much. That was a great time. And rumor has it, we might be working on a stop in Memphis, which I'm pretty excited about too. So just real quick, I wanted to talk to you about ADHD because it's a hot topic in our house. And I love TikTok. I don't know. I feel like it sounds silly, but I like get most of my information from TikTok. That sounds terrible, but I don't care. It's fine. I don't like watching the news. It's just sad stuff after sad stuff. And for those who don't know, we are having elections coming up here soon. And you know what? I've been really having a hard time with like my social media presence and what I feel I can or cannot say, but I will say I've always been a person who's very true to myself, and I don't see why that should have to be any different when it comes to politics. Now, do I know a whole lot about politics? Of course not. That's not what I do. That's why there's people to do that. What I will say is I am absolutely not a Trump supporter in any way, shape, or form, and the stuff that he says makes my skin literally crawl. And thinking about him getting elected gives me actual PTSD. Like the first time that he got elected, I just cried. I was like, how can this be happening? So I am praying to the gods, God, whatever person is up above us, like, please just not Donald Trump. But there goes my ADHD, right down a rabbit hole. Exactly. Like, that's what ADHD is.
ADHD.
There we go.
I don't support
That's
Trump.
What ADHD is. But that's what was on my mind. TikTok videos. ADHD. Yes. So I sent a video today to Brian. He hasn't watched it yet, but I told him about it. And I was like, this is literally the most perfect ADHD description of time that I've ever even knew existed. So basically what it says is this guy's describing ADHD in time. And he said, okay, you have an event at 5 p.m. Perfect. It's 2:08 p.m. Well, in my mind, it's actually 2:30, which is closer to 3 o'clock. So I have to get ready pretty soon. And I need to be ready to leave by 4:30 p.m., which means I need to be ready to go by 4, which means I only have like an hour to get ready, which means until it's time to get ready, I'm just going to sit around and wait until it's time to get ready. I can't do anything else. And then I was like, whoa, why is that exactly what I do? Like, what? That's crazy. This podcast is actually being recorded at 5 p.m. It said at 7 a.m., you're thinking about that one thing you have to do in the evening. Guess what? I work at 7 o'clock in the morning and all day long. I was like, I have a podcast today. Like, oh my gosh, am I going to have enough time to get off work and get home and see if Brian wants to come? So anyway, it was wild. So if you're ever scrolling through and see videos of ADHD and you have an ADHD friend, if you think you have it yourself or a partner, just take a little listen. You might learn something because I think Brian's like becoming a professional, like ADHD, or I don't know, whatever the term would be for that. But yeah.
I'm just recognizing it more. I think too, what's crazy is like I always tell you is that, I was diagnosed with ADD. I just didn't have the hyperactive portion of it when I was probably 16, maybe. I was in high school at the time. So I have some of the same tendencies as you. So we do clash in certain times with that. But it's just hilarious watching some of the videos because I found a lot of the videos too before you had even really truly started sending me some. And I was like, this is Samantha to a T. This is so crazy.
I'm like, how weird. It's like perfectly spot on.
But I recommend anybody who may use, I don't know, like if certain things may frustrate you with your partner or it's like really quirky or kind of weird or whatever, like, and you're over there laughing, but I'm just using generalized descriptions of somebody, is to maybe watch these ADHD videos because you may realize, oh, okay, my partner, my significant other is not being weird. It's just normal the way their brain functions or thinks or why. And then you're like, okay, so that's not weird. Or they're not meaning to be abrasive or push off your emotions in that moment or whatever it is. There's a lot to it.
And there was another one. I don't know if it was ADHD, if it was like neurodivergent. Also, low key, the autism ones kind of hit sometimes too. But it was like talking about how this girl was talking about how she has to know why. And I was like, oh my God, like, yes. And I've always said like, oh, I'm a curious person, but I think it's much more than me being curious. It's like, mentally, I have to understand. And I think the examples she used was like her partner asked, hey, what time are you gonna be ready? And she was like, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in that situation where Brian's like, okay, what time are you gonna be ready to go or whatever? And I'm like, panic mode. I'm like, why? And then he's like, like, why? What do you mean why? I'm just asking. And then she explained, she was like, well, are you asking because you have a preset time that you want us to go, but you haven't actually set it, so you want to see if I'm going to meet your expectations? Or is there like a time thing and then you're not telling? And I'm like, you're just spiraling. I'm wondering why they're asking, what time, the certain question, but you have to have an answer. And it's like, I'm not trying to be annoying. I'm literally like needing to understand it. And I'm like that at work too. So like if someone were to ask me, which I'm more aware of it now, so I feel like it's different than when it used to be. For example, when I worked at Best Buy, and someone would ask me to do sometimes it was an important task, but sometimes people ask me to do really stupid things. And I'm like, I would have to ask the question why. And I feel like that's been a thing where I've been told like I'm too questioning or something. Like I feel like that has been an obstacle in my life where people think I'm just asking too many questions because I'm too nosy or whatever it is. And so that one for me was like, oh shit, that's a thing that like.
Which is kind of crazy to me though, because like, again, the generational gap between you and me, the generation that you're in has been kind of classified as a generation that wants and needs to know the why behind things a lot more than my generation or even a generation before me. You know, it's like my generation and before me, it was like, do this. And your only response was, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. You know what I mean? Like we didn't ask why. So being a people leader, as I have been over these last 10 years with Verizon, you know, those are the things that we've been taught and trained and stuff like that is like the newer generation wants to know why. And there's nothing wrong with that. So it's crazy to me that you are having hard times with it when it's more than
definitely
norm.
Used to be worse than now. So, and I also work in a completely different environment than I used to.
Yeah.
The opposite, in fact, in every single way. But yeah, ADHD, definitely would like to hear if anyone has like certain things that they do that they're like, oh yeah, I'm aware that I do it, but like, it's just what I do. I will say things that definitely help me are like, one of the videos, it was like, absolutely hates routine, but lives by their calendar. I'm like, oh, that one's me. That's like the definition of me. If it's not in my calendar, it's literally not real. But if it's in my calendar, it is Bible. Like that's what we do. That's what happens. And I have everything in my calendar from like social media planning to work from 6:45 until 3 p.m. Like,
oh, I know.
It's mapped out. Everything.
Which calendar are you talking about?
Exactly. I really use 2 calendars, like, and I have like 4, but I used to.
Yeah, you used the 2, and then we put notes on the dry erase by the front door.
Yeah. Yeah. I like lists too. That's definitely a thing. I love lists. That's because I won't forget them. I had to go to Walmart the other day. My boss was like, we need this, 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 and this. I'm like, okay, easy. 4 things. I got this. I came home with things I didn't need to buy and I bought a bunch of Squishmallow bubbles. I thought they were bubbles and they were on clearance and they were really cute. And then they turned out to be body wash. So if anyone wants some Squishmallow body wash, I've got like 12 of them.
Yeah.
ADHD.
Ding,
yay.
Ding, ding.
But I'm fun to hang out with.
You got that dopamine fix
by
buying all those.
I do get. But lately, it's been Goodwill shopping, and then we have been reselling those clothing for like festival wears and things, which has been fun. So I feel less guilty about shopping at Goodwill. Because like the most we've spent at Goodwill was like $50. And in reality, that's not that much.
No, definitely.
Okay, but that's enough. Otherwise, I'm going to keep spitting out on random ADHD conversations.
Yeah,
okay, yay. Happy Monday for us today. I'm excited to be back and recording at Possibilities. Yeah, so we'll see you guys at Chirp Float Festival this weekend.
And get those tickets for Goddess Awakening 10/10.
10/10. See you then. Thanks for listening to this episode of Goddess Awakening. Check out our link tree in the description for all our socials and upcoming events. This podcast is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.